Video game industry has become a major source of entertainment for millions of people worldwide. Video game is one of those mediums that every age group enjoys in some form or another. The gaming industry globally turnover is growing at 88.3% every year and is steadily rising. It is set to increase from $164.6 billion to $178.2 billion in 2021, and which has grown. And its growth has been significant when compared to other industries such as textiles, mechanical engineering, and so on. However, with the increased popularity of video games, the industry has also been under scrutiny for the dark side of its operations. As every industry there is, gaming also has its fair share of problems. 60 to 80% of the consumers of gaming don't have an idea how a game environment that's so entertaining can be so toxic. In my research, I'll be analyzing the two major issues in the gaming industry: overtime work and toxic work environment, and how they are affecting the video game industry and the people and the employees who are working in it. Overtime working. Firstly, one of the most significant problems in video game industry is overtime work. This is also known as crunch culture, and it is characterized by the developers and artists working for long hours, not getting paid enough, and even suffering from several health and mental issues. Many large game development companies such as CD Projekt Red have been accused of such practices. This is one of those studios which were responsible for making Cyberpunk. The trend of overworking and underpaying artists in the game industry has become so commonplace that it has been accepted as a norm. However, it is essential to note a number of reports came up that overworking led to burnout of an artist over the years. Burnout is a state of an artist in which he or she no longer has an interest or idea or concept of making art, and a certain lack of interest, which ultimately results in a lack of interest in the work and low quality games. This issue is particularly prevalent in countries like India and China, where many companies employ artists work at a lower cost wage than compared to the average market price. The following tweet is one of the artists from the game development company tweets about: "This needs to be stopped being a point of pride, no matter how bittersweet you make it sound. I don't want devs to work 100 hours a week. Even if the end result is a game of the year, no game is worth that kind of burnout." Toxic work environment. Secondly, the toxic work environment in video game industry is another significant problem. This issue is characterized by discrimination, harassment, and abusive culture. One such is frat boy culture, which involves sexual harassment, unequal pay, and reprisal against female workers. It has been a common practice in the industry. Companies such as Activision Blizzard, Riot Games, Ubisoft, EA have been accused of such practices. This issue is not only prevalent in large game development companies, but also in small indie game developers, where female workers have no source or voice to speak out. The following tweet was made by a reporter from Bloomberg. He tweets about the lawsuit filed against Activision Blizzard, which is known as Disney of gaming industry. Following is one of the statements against Activision Blizzard filed in a lawsuit. Defendants have also fostered a pervasive frat boy workplace culture that continues to thrive. In the office, women are subjected to cube crawls, in which male employees drink copious amount of alcohol as they crawl their way through various cubicles in the office, and often engage in inappropriate behavior towards female employees. Male employees proudly come into work hungover, play video games for long periods of time during work while delegating their responsibilities to female employees. Engage in a banter about sexual encounters, talk openly about female bodies, and joke about rape.
Hi, my name is Anirudh. I have been working in EA for the past 4 years.
Are the main factors that contribute to the overall culture or unhealthy work environment in gaming industry?
I think the main thing that is uh, causing problems is the demand. Like people want great games and people want it fast. So people want it for a cheap price. Like people want it for the same price or cheaper price.
What impacts does a studio that practice crunch culture or unhealthy work environment have on the people who work on it, like employees or the developers? How does it
Okay.
affect them?
Yeah, so that's what it is. So people who are working on the games, uh, so for example, in animation we have motion capture technology now, which makes the games faster. But lots of times, the people who are like the clients don't realize that motion capture technology is only does like 50% of the animation. You get the capture data, but then after getting that motion capture data, it's up to the animators to enhance what is there in the motion capture data. Because if you just want realistic animation, then you don't need animators. If you and it's not just getting realistic animations. Lots of times there's tracking errors and stuff like that. People don't realize that, and even putting in the amount of detail for a motion capture data takes time, and you need a person to work on that. So if we ever get someone, if we ever sometimes people are just like, why is it taking so much time? Then we don't know how to answer that, because motion capture data will take time. So it does cause problem for people. Like I'm pretty sure it is the same for modeling, texturing, and everything else. If you need time to put in the effort, you need that time. You can't tell them to make it faster and get the same amount of quality. That is not possible. But yeah, and it causes problems. Like because of that, lots of people, especially newcomers who want to like prove that, oh, they are good at the work, will put in extra effort that is not needed, that they'll put in more time and cause health issues for themselves, or decrease their personal time. Like right now, ideally a person should have time to do some fitness works and work, and have time to sleep and have time to eat food and all of that. If you decrease all of that, then it just doesn't work for an artist.
What steps do you think the industry can take to overcome such crunch culture problems or have a good work environment?
So a few steps that I think that a company can take, if a company is doing this sort of issues, then first thing is not giving unrealistic deadlines. Like I get that people think that you can do attitude helps, but it doesn't. It causes extra stress and it causes extra problems. So keep realistic deadlines, give them good budgets. If you want good work, then pay the artist that much, that they, if even if they want to put in that extra time, it's their choice and they'll be happy to put in that time. You need to pay them more. In countries like India and China, if you're not paying them well, then they won't want to stick in the industry.
So, what advice would you give to a young artist who is inspiring to get into gaming industry or any industry per se?
uh, Advice that I'd give is not to spend too much, not to worry too much about working extra. Do not work extra, because working extra doesn't, like, work for 8 hours a day, put in those good 8 hours, and after those 8 hours, do not put in more unless and until you really have to. Because when you do have to, that is for a very short time and it is okay when you do that. But if you have to constantly do that, it's not going to help you. It's not going to help you make your name in the industry. It'll just be someone thinking that, oh, they can make you work very easily and they'll take advantages of you and stuff like that. The industry is a lot of fun provided that you are giving them just that 8 hours of work per day.
In conclusion on overworking, while crunch culture may seem like a necessary evil in the gaming industry, it ultimately has serious negative consequences for both developers and the quality of the game they create. It is important for game studios to recognize these issues and take steps to prevent or mitigate crunch culture, such as setting realistic deadlines, providing adequate compensation and benefits, and prioritizing the well being of the employees. Concluding, the research on toxic work environment in the game industry shows that such environments are prevalent and can have serious negative consequences for employees, including mental health issues. The factor that contributes to toxic work environment in the game industry includes poor management, lack of work-life balance, and a culture of harassment and discrimination. Strategies to address this issue includes promoting transparency and communication, implementing policies to prevent harassment and discrimination, and prioritizing employees' well-being and work-life balance. It is important for game industry to address these issues in order to ensure the well-being of employees and the long-term success of the industry. Thank you.